Join me as I dive into the implications of BRICS accepting Palestine and why it could shake things up for America in 2024. The BRICS nations, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have been making waves in global politics for quite some time. And recently, they've made a move that's got everyone talking, accepting Palestine as a full member of the grouping. This development is significant, and it's essential to understand its implications for America. In this video, I'll explore what this decision means for the United States and why it could be a game changer in the world of international relations. So, let's set the stage. What does this mean for Palestine, and what does it signal about the evolving dynamics between the world's major powers? Historically, the United States has been a significant player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, often taking a more pro-Israel stance. However, this has led to tensions between the US and Palestine, with the latter often feeling isolated and ignored on the global stage. The US has traditionally been the dominant power broker in the region, using its economic and military might to shape policy and keep the peace. But with BRICS' acceptance of Palestine, the dynamics are shifting, and fast. This move is not just a symbolic gesture, it has real-world implications for the Middle East region. With BRICS backing, Palestine gains a level of legitimacy and recognition it never had before, which could potentially alter the balance of power in the region. The US has long been wary of Palestinian statehood, fearing it would undermine Israeli security. But with BRICS support, Palestine is now in a stronger position to push for statehood, and the US may find itself increasingly isolated on this issue. Since the end of the Cold War, the US has been the sole superpower, calling the shots and setting the agenda. But with the rise of BRICS, that's changing, and fast. The BRICS nations are not just a loose collection of countries, they represent a new axis of power that's challenging traditional Western dominance. By accepting Palestine, BRICS is sending a clear message that it's no longer beholden to Western norms and values, and that it's willing to chart its own course in international relations. This has significant implications for US foreign policy, which has long been based on a combination of military power, economic coercion, and diplomatic pressure. With BRICS backing, Palestine can now resist US pressure and forge its own path, potentially leading to a more multipolar world where different powers have a greater say. The Middle East region is already a complex web of alliances and rivalries, and BRICS support for Palestine only adds another layer of complexity. As the region becomes increasingly multipolar, the US may find itself struggling to maintain its influence and shape policy to its liking. This development also raises questions about the role of international institutions like the United Nations, which has long been a key forum for resolving global conflicts. With BRICS backing, Palestine may be able to leverage the UN to advance its own interests and push for statehood, which could further erode US influence. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most intractable conflicts of our time, and BRICS support for Palestine adds a new dimension to this complex issue. The US has long been the key mediator in this conflict, but with BRICS backing, Palestine may be able to bypass the US and negotiate directly with Israel, or even with other regional players like Iran. This could be a game changer for the region, as it opens up new possibilities for conflict resolution and potentially even a two-state solution. So, why did BRICS accept Palestine? What drove this decision, and what are the underlying motivations behind it? One key factor is economics. The BRICS nations are all major emerging markets, and they see Palestine as a significant trade partner and investment opportunity. By accepting Palestine, BRICS is sending a signal that it's open for business and willing to engage with the region in a more meaningful way. This is particularly true for China, which has been rapidly expanding its economic footprint in the Middle East. China sees Palestine as a key partner in its Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure project aimed at connecting Asia, Europe, and Africa. By backing Palestine, China is cementing its position as a key player in the region and consolidating its economic gains. Politics also play a role. The BRICS nations are all committed to a more multipolar world, where different powers have a greater say in international relations. By accepting Palestine, BRICS is challenging traditional Western dominance and pushing for a more equitable world order. Social factors are also at play. The BRICS nations are all home to significant Muslim populations, and they see Palestine as a key issue in the Muslim world. By backing Palestine, BRICS is sending a signal to its own Muslim populations that it's committed to their welfare and concerned about their interests. As we explore the implications of BRICS accepting Palestine, it's essential to understand the complex web of motivations behind this decision. What does this mean for US interests in the region? How will this move affect American influence globally? One thing is clear, this development has significant implications for U.S. foreign policy, which may need to adapt to a new reality where different powers have a greater say. The U.S. may need to reassess its relationships with key allies like Israel and Saudi Arabia, and it may need to find new ways to engage with the region. This could involve a more nuanced approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, one that takes into account the multiple stakeholders and interests involved. The U.S. may also need to confront its own declining influence in the region, and find ways to reassert its authority in a more multipolar world. As we move forward, it's essential to keep a close eye on developments in the Middle East and beyond. BRICS' acceptance of Palestine is a significant move that could have far-reaching implications for global politics. In conclusion, let's recap the main points. BRICS' acceptance of Palestine is a game-changer for the Middle East and beyond. It challenges traditional Western dominance, and it opens up new possibilities for conflict resolution and regional dynamics. The implications for U.S. foreign policy are significant, and America may need to adapt to a new reality where different powers have a greater say. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. If you want to stay up to date on global politics, be sure to check out my other videos on the topic.